Assalamualaikum and good morning to our beloved doctor and our fellow friends. We are from Group 10 and today we will present the topic implementation of technology management strategy. Our group members are Nur Shazwana Shaza, Amira Aini, which is me, Siti Nur Hazika, Mimi Nur Natasha and Nur Hudadini. After we finish our presentation, we will provide the short quiz on Kahoot. In this topic, we will explain it for contents which are formulation strategy, implementation strategy, evaluate and control, and the industry application, our case study.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Siti Nur Hazika and my metric is 275695. So, what is strategy formulation? Strategy formulation is an analytical process of selection of the best suitable course of action to meet the organizational objective and vision. It is one of the steps of the strategic management process. The strategic plan allows an organization to examine its resources, provide a financial plan, and establish the most appropriate action plan for increasing profit. Okay, next step of strategy formulation. Strategy formulation process is an integral part of strategic management as it helps in framing effective strategy for the organization to survive and grow in the dynamic business environment. Okay, first step is establishing organizational objective. For the first step, this involves establishing long-term goals of an organization. Strategic discussion can be taken once the organizational objectives are determined. Second step, analysis of organizational environment. This involves SWOT analysis, meaning identifying the company's strength and weakness and keeping vigilance over competitor action to understand opportunity and threats. Strength and weakness are internal factors which the company has control over. Opportunities and threats, on the other hand, are external factors over which the company has no control. A successful organization builds on its strength, overcome its weakness, identify new opportunities, and protect against external threats. Step 3. Forming quantitative goals. Define target so as to meet the company's short-term and long-term objective. For example, 30% increase in revenue this year of a company. Step 4 is objective in context with divisional plan. This involves setting up targets for every department so that they work in coherence with the organization as a whole. Step 5. Performance analysis. This is done to estimate the degree of variation between the actual and the standard performance of an organization. Last step, selection of strategy. This is the final step of strategy formulation. It involves evaluation of the alternative and selection of the best strategy among them to be the strategy on the organization. There are 3 levels of strategy formulation used in an organization: corporate level strategy, business level strategy, and functional level strategy. Corporate level strategy. This level outline what you are to achieve, what's to grow, stabilities, equations or retention. It's focused on what business you are going to enter the market. Okay, for business level strategy, this level answer the question of how you are going to compete. It's play a role in those organizations which have smaller unit of business and each is considered as the strategic business unit. Last one is functional level strategy. This level concentrates on how an organization is going to grow. It's define daily action, including allocation of resource to deliver corporate and business level strategy. Okay, all organizations have competitor, and it is the strategy that enable one business to become more successful and established than the others. Advantage and disadvantage of strategic formulation. Okay, for advantage, to achieve the organizational goals effectively, to become more competitive, to maximizing the profit, and to make a large market share. Okay, for the disadvantage of strategy formulation. First, lack of awareness means no proper information. Next, killing themselves syndrome, like no flow of any new information. Vested interest of manager, excessive involvement in everyday operational problems, like no time for studying information. Next, resistance to change, and last one is inability on the part of the top management. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Shazwana Shazla Piti Sahar. My number matrix is 278316. So I will continue our presentation. So my part is implementation strategy. What is strategy implementation? Strategy implementation is the process of the transforming strategic planning into an organization's ability to achieve strategic goals and objectives. Strategy implementation also defined as the process whereby an organization develops, utilizes, and combines organization culture, control system, and culture in order to follow strategies that lead to a stronger and improved performance. So, if you want to ensure that the plan for innovative strategy can be implemented, the manager should answer three key initial questions. Which is first is what should we be doing now, which is define the reality that there are both long-term and short-term concerns that face a firm. Second is what are the requirements for key activities, which is the goals objective is attention to critical areas, and the scope is knowledge transfer required, the degree of integration needed, and the speed of integration necessary. And lastly is what and to whom to delegate. Key strategy implementation step. First is communication. To implement new strategy, first must identify clear and attainable goals. Use goals tracking software to communicate your strategy with the rest of your member team. Second is engage team. It is necessary to develop focus and drive motivation in order to implement strategy successfully and effectively. Third is execute plan. So focus on providing necessary resources so that the organization can execute the strategic plan. It won't be able to attain any strategic goals if organization doesn't have the right resource. Fourth step is take a guide. So make a schedule and then check the status of the goals or make adjustment to the implementation plan on routine basis. Fifth step is get closure. So when it is done, so interact with everyone in that organization to ensure that the task is complete. Implementation strategy is not like you solving the puzzle after the last component, but it's like gardening that keep growing and change even after you're finished your work. Last step is conduct retrospective, which is conduct a review to reflect on the strategy that was implemented and to evaluate the success of the implementation to the strategy overall. This step allows us to identify knowledge and change for future development, and strategy enable company to avoid potential issue and capture new opportunities. For element implementation is first leadership. As we know, leader is someone that guide the organization. So effective leadership need a great deal of management, like manage the organization so that employer can identify themselves with the implementation strategy. Leader also must to ensure employer engage in order to carry out the strategy and also understand and execute with that. And leader also have to create a mechanism for innovative and allocate ample resource to critical activity. Second is engagement. So as we know that engagement in a business is about team building. So the organization have the engagement each other to make this strategic information, like build knowledge-based culture, training and development, and mentoring staff employer. Third is extension, which is concerned with firm for having the difficult knowledge of product and market competences. So there are three key actions to help generate the extension, which is first is develop and share listen learning, second is monitor organizational competencies, and lastly is look for other opportunities. Lastly is alignment. So by implementing great strategy, one of most critical methods that can do it is align everything in organization with that strategy. So alignment will make it a lot easier for the management team guide the company in the right direction. 5 change that support successful implementation. First is people. Not only understand the strategy that you want to be implemented, but also has the skills and resource to help. So hire, retain and teach the best people for the job. Second is organization. Everyone in the organization must know their roles in order to make responsible for the achievement to the strategy implementation. Next is culture. So the company's organizational culture is the important factor. For organizations, implementation new strategy can be very difficult and very stressful. So it's important for a successful and effective implementation that everyone know what they need to know and feel appreciated include. Okay, next is resource. It is the most important aspect of strategy implementation is effective resource allocation. And lastly is system. Another important factor is method, technique and system that have been implemented. So you have to recognize each of these systems function and how they will help the strategy management before and after implementation. As you know that strategy implementation also have the pitfalls. First is overwhelming or mainly strategy planning. It can be hard to implement strategic vision if there are lack of purpose and potential, or there is too many puzzle components to consider. Second is lack of communication and ownership. A team that not 100% sure what the strategy actually is and doesn't feel confident about their respective tasks can make the implementation process come to a halt before it's begin. Third is lack of accountability and empower. Low visibility and lack of accountability can make your team feel helpless. And lastly is no implementation insight. It is really great to have a strategic plan, but without the resource and support from upper management, the implementation may never happen.
Assalamualaikum and very good morning to Doctor and my fellow friends. My name is Amira Aini and my number metric is 281269. Today I will present about evaluate and control. Evaluate and control is the process of determining the effectiveness of given strategy in achieving the organizational objective and taking corrective action wherever it required. Next is about strategy evaluation process. There are 4 strategy evaluation process. First is setting standards of performance. This focus on questions like what standards of technology should be set, how should the standard of technology be set, and in what terms should the standards of technology be expressed. For example, the firm must identify the areas of operational efficiency in terms of processes, productivity, pupil, and past. Besides that, standards of technology can be set by keeping in mind past achievement and compare performance with industry average or major competitors. Second of strategy evaluation process is measurement of performance, which is benchmark in evaluating the actual performance of the technology. Third of strategy evaluation process is analyzing variances. In this process, there are 2 main tasks. First is noting deviation. Second is finding the causes of deviation. Whereas when the actual performance is less than budget performance, we must pinpoint the area where performance is low and take corrective action. The cost deviation may be external or internal or expected temporary or permanent. Two main question to focus on is, are the strategies of the technology still valid, and does the organization have the capacity to respond to the changes needed? Last of the strategy evaluation process is taking corrective actions. Firstly, checking of performance of tasks. It includes in-depth analysis and diagnosis of the factor that might be responsible for bad performance. Secondly, checking of standard. It results in lowering or evaluation of standards according to the conditions. Lastly, reformulate strategy, plans, objective, where can give a fresh start to the strategy management process. This is four basic types of strategic control. First is premise control. It identifies the key assumption and keep tracks of any change in them to assess its impact, strategy, and implementation. Secondly is implementation control. It includes evaluating plans of technology project to achieve predetermined organizational objective or not. Thirdly is strategic surveillance. It is designed to monitor broad range of events inside and outside the organization that are likely to threaten the cause of the firm. The fourth is special alert control. It is rapid response or immediate reassessment of strategy technology in the light of sudden and unexpected events. The importance of strategy evaluation and control. There is a need for feedback, appraisal, and reward. The company can check on the validity of strategic choice. Next, concludes between decision and intended strategy. And lastly, is creating input for new strategy planning. And that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning everyone. My name is Nur Huda Dini binti Halim, metric number 273420. Now, for my part, I would like to explain about the case study related to implementation of technology management strategy, which is a case study in Brazilian subsidiaries of MNCS. For this part, I will continue explain about the main of the case study in Brazilian subsidiaries of MNCS. So, for the first main case study, I will explain about the importance of technological innovation for competitiveness in the telecom industry. Second is the frameworks for formulating technology strategy. And third is technology strategy formulation in equip company. And lastly is technology strategy formulation in net company. For the introduction, this article analyzes the process of technology strategy formulation in two cases of Brazilian subsidiaries from telecom industry. One company belongs to the equipment layer, which is equip company, and the other to the network layer, which is net company. In equip company, technology strategy and corporate strategy are formulated in conjunction, and the subsidiary is involved in the creation of global products. The main advantage of this approach is the alignment around a common vision and the synergy created among subsidiaries. While in net company, the technology strategy derived from the marketing vision of the future, and the Brazilian subsidiary can define its own strategy, merely requesting parent company approval for implementation. The objective of the present paper is to analyze technology strategy formulation in Brazilian subsidiary of multinational companies in a dynamic and innovative industry. We choose the telecom industry due to its innovative and competitive nature. We move to the next slide, which I will explain about the first main of the case study, that is the importance of technological innovation for competitiveness in the telecom industry. The major network owners that are the front line in the broadband revolution historically provide for distinct consumer, which is home telephony, mobile telephony, cable television, and internet access. Next, in this context, the process through which a company develops an understanding of change in the environment to be able to anticipate opportunities and threats, as well as develop strategic planning to enable decision about key technologies that will be developed by the company. And it also can be understood as a dynamic capability which is important to high-tech companies for several reasons. For the first reason is the ability of the company to make timely change in resource to take advantage of new opportunities will depend on this process. And for the second reason, from this process, a company can conclude that it is necessary to change other process to adapt to a constantly changing for environment. And finally, if conducted well, this process will allow a company to invest in a set of technologies that will be important in the future. Listening the parts dependence restriction that would arise if the company were investing in technologies not valued by the market. For the second point, which is the frameworks for formulating technology strategy. The alignment of technology strategy or that of R&D and corporate strategy was and continues to be a challenge for many organizations. Even with large investment in innovation, it's common for companies to develop products and services that never reach the market or else fail. And on the other hand, they don't invest in the development of products and services that are important to remain competitive in the market. Thus, the identification of technological opportunities and threats is important for the company to be able to re-evaluate its project and technological product portfolios. Next, they analyze diverse technology strategy formulation framework. Such frameworks may adopt a rational or incremental process for formulating the technology strategy. In the rational process, companies are concerned with describing, understanding, and analyzing the environment in order to determine a course of action and execute a plan. And lastly, existing models for formulating the technology strategy, which he qualifies as traditional, are based on an analytical structure derived from the SCP strategy approach. So, a company chooses its positioning strategy and the technology strategy must give support to the corporate strategy. This figure shows process for formulating the technology strategy according to Chisa. This process starts from what he called corporate strategic architecture, which means that the strategy itself is not yet defined, but rather there are broad definitions such as the company's mission and vision. The external analysis is focused on the identification of the value for the customer and the feature critical skills. The internal analysis is focused on mapping the firm's distinctive technological skills and on identifying potential application of existing skills. This approach is concerned with issues raised by the dynamic capabilities and RBV approach. He emphasizes that the company must build core competencies that are distinctive and that can be applied to different technologies and products in the future. This approach also recognizes that path dependency created by the firm's unique trajectory, which may be a constraint to change but also constitutes an isolating mechanism against competitors. It is because a firm may have an accumulate stock of valuable resource competencies include that requires a lot of time to develop. Thank you. That's all from me. Next, I will pass to the last presenter.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Mimi Naratasha binti Abdullah. I will continue about case study of implementation of technology management strategy. In case study of implementation of technology management strategy divided by two company types is the equity company and net company. First, about equity company. Equity company is a global company. This company developing equipment and network services for telecom service provider. Equity company has a matrix organization structure. This company has three business units to responsible for a set product and service. In equity company has a technology strategic formulation. This company has 7 global regulations. Each of global regulation has a Head of Technology. Next, Equip Company hold a workshop. The goal is to analyze tendencies and the company positioning and establish a future vision. The head of technology in Equip Company is responsible for visiting client technology officer. This case for disseminated their future vision, checking to what extent it align with client evaluation plans. There is a monthly meeting with the head of technology to discuss technology strategy. This company has research group to responsible for technology intelligence, looking for opportunities and threats as well as forecasting and planning future technology. They use an innovation funnel model with 5 main phases. First is idea generation, second is innovation proposal, third is acceleration of better ideas, fourth is innovation project execution, last is launching. Netcompany is Brazilian subsidiary of a global company. This company offering connectivity to its client through voice and data service. In company has 3 areas in R&D activity is Technology Evolution Department, Technology Reference Center, and New Business Development Department. Technology Evolution Department has main function is technology research and forecasting. Technology Reference Center is responsible for testing and approving new technology and equipment. New Business Development Department is development of solution. To transfer new investigated and tested technologies into product and service. Netcompany also has a global research center located in the parent company, which tests and investigated new technology and inform the regional center on their work. Netcompany also has a technology strategy formulation. Definition and premises for technology research start from the future vision presented by marketing area in annual meeting. In this meeting has a proposed roadmap. Marketing is responsible for analyzing market tendencies, client demands, competitor analysis, and suppliers new solution, and to look for technological solution that can be used to reach marketing demands. Netcompany does not have a formal process for research and development, but this company has informal process. First is available technology research by Technology Evolution Department. Second is knowledge of the technology by Technology Evolution Department. Third is technology testing by Technological Reference Center. Fourth is adherent to marketing roadmap and product evolution by Technology Evolution Department. Fifth is installed network adaptation requirement by engineering. Lastly is new product development by new business development. Conclusion: implementation strategy in company very important because it can help for make a planning in company organization to achieve their strategic goals and objective. Implementation strategy also can help to increase the performance in company. In this case, we give case study about implementation strategy for Equip Company and Netcompany. Equip Company about equipment and network service for telecom service provider, while Netcompany about R&D activities. That's all from my group. Thank you.